Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my all students. I hope you all are fine. Today we started your online classes. I hope you will learn more through online classes. I am your English subject teacher. This is your main coursework. Kindly open the page number 7. Everybody likes stories more. This is also a story, but actually this is a novel about a man. His name was Lemuel Gulliver. It's not a real story, it's imagination of a writer. Jonathan Swift wrote this novel about the political dispute between England and France. This story included in 4 books because Gulliver traveled in 4 different islands. His first travel was Lilliput, second Brobding, third Laputa, and the fourth and his last travel was Houyhnhnms. But in our course, we just read about his first travel, Gulliver and Lilliput. First, you watch this video, the story about the Gulliver. Then we will read this lesson. Thank you.
Shivi TV.
One stormy night, a ship drowned in the sea. All the passengers drowned except for Gulliver. Gulliver was a very good swimmer and was able to reach the shore. By then, he was very tired. He slept the whole day on the seashore. When he woke up, he could not move. His hair, hands, legs and body were tied to the ground. When he tried to look around, he could not believe what he saw. There were little men running all around him. Someone had got a tiny ladder and was climbing up on him. The little man was of the size of Gulliver's thumb. He came up to Gulliver's ear and said, "You are in the land of Lilliput. We are Lilliputians. We are taking you to our emperor." They put Gulliver on a huge wooden cart-like structure and pulled him along on the street. Finally, they arrived at the emperor's palace. The emperor said, "You really are a strange sight. If you want to be set free, you will have to serve us." Gulliver said, "I will, but first untie me." He was untied. He was given food and water too. He had a house built for him. Gulliver lived with the Lilliputians and helped them in their work. A king in the neighborhood who did not like the Lilliputians wanted to attack them. He brought a huge army of 100 ships. The frightened Lilliputians ran to Gulliver for help. The emperor said, "Gulliver, we need your help." Gulliver walked ahead into the sea. He took a long rope, tied all the 100 ships together and dragged them in the water. He moved the ships around all day until the army was giddy and could not fight. Their king came begging for peace. The emperor agreed. Gulliver became a hero for the Lilliputians.
Lesson number 1. Gulliver and Lilliput. Lemuel Gulliver had a great longing to travel. He wanted to go on sea voyage and discovered new lands. He was not scared of danger or pirates to fulfill his desire. One day he left his job and accepted his appointment as a surgeon on a ship named Antwerp. On 4 May 1699, he sailed from Bristol for the South Sea. The weather was fair and the voyage was uneventful till they steered the ship for the East Indies. Suddenly, there was a great storm, and the ship hit some rocks and crashed into a reef. What happened to the ship crew? No one knows. Gulliver never saw them again. They probably drowned. Gulliver swam till he reached dry land. It was growing dark, and he saw no sign of houses or people on the strange land. He staggered forward, fell down, exhausted, and went to sleep on the shore. When he woke up, the sun was shining brightly. He tried to get up but could not move. He found that his arms and legs were tightly fastened to the ground. Across his body were number of thin but strong cords. Even his long hair had been packed down so securely that he could not turn his head. All around him he heard voices. Soon he felt something climb gently up his left leg and onto his chest. Looking down, he saw a tiny man, not more than 6 inches tall, armed with a bow and arrows. Many more tiny men began to swarm all over him. He let out a roar of fright. He struggled and managed to break the cords that fastened his left arm with a violent wrench. He loosened the string that fastened his hair. Gulliver tried to grab one of the men, but he was too quick and got out of Gulliver's reach. All of a sudden, there was great commotion, followed by a shrill little voice that called out sharply. Tolkophonic, immediately arrow-like needles were shot into Gulliver's hand and face. He covered his face with his hands and lay groaning with pain. Again he struggled to get free, but he found that the harder he fought for freedom, the more he was bombarded by arrows. Gulliver decided to lie still. As a result, the little people ceased shooting at him. Shortly after, Gulliver heard the sound of hammering. On turning his head to that side, he saw that a small wooden stage was being built. It was ready in no time. A little page boy climbed onto it, and gave an order. At once, 50 soldiers ran forward and cut the strings that tied Gulliver. Okay, my students, I think so. This 2 pages is enough for one day. You read this lesson, this 2 page, at least more than 5 times. Underline some difficult words, some difficult pronunciation, and search from the internet and search from the dictionary and memorize these words. I have also written some word here for you. This is your homework. First of all, read after me. Scat. First word is scat. Second word is desire. Desire. Third word is pegged. Pegged. Pirates. uneventful, uneventful, state, stat, probably, probably, staggered, staggered, fasten, fasten, exhausted, exhausted, struggled, struggled, bombarded, bombarded, wrench, wrench, seed, seed, groaning, groaning. Okay, write down here same meaning and pronunciation of these words. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.